Welcome to Soul Stories, where every tale touches the heart, inspires the mind, and stays with the soul.
Are you okay? Do you need help?
I feel a sharp pain. I might need assistance.
Maya clutched her boarding pass so tightly that the edges bent under her fingers. The airport buzzed around, her rolling suitcases rattling over the tiles, boarding announcements echoing overhead, the low murmur of conversations blending into a constant hum. Her worn backpack bounced against her shoulder with every hurried step, the strap threatening to slip off. This trip meant everything to her. Months of extra shifts at the cafe, late nights, tired feet, and the constant smell of coffee clinging to her clothes. All of it for this one ticket, her first time leaving the country. Her first time visiting her older sister after years apart. She checked the time on the big digital clock. Only a few minutes left until final boarding. Her heart thumped faster. She picked up her pace, weaving between families, business travelers, and groups of tourists dragging duty-free bags. As she hurried past a row of metal benches, something caught her eye. An old man, alone, hunched over beside a toppled suitcase. Papers were scattered across the floor like fallen leaves. His hands trembled as he tried to grab them, but what froze her in place was his face pale strained, his chest rising and falling in shallow breaths. One hand was pressed lightly against his chest, his fingers unsteady. People were looking, but no one was stopping. A woman grimaced and shifted her child to the other side. A man in a suit stepped around the scattered papers with an annoyed sigh. Another traveler glanced over, hesitated for half a second, then walked away. Maya's feet stayed rooted to the spot. If I stop, I might miss my flight, she thought, panic clawing at her. I can't afford another ticket. I can't lose this chance. But then another thought slid quietly in, like her mother's voice in the back of her mind. If someone needs help and you turn away, what does that make you? Her throat tightened. A flight can be rebooked, she told herself firmly. A life can't. She turned and ran toward him. Sir, are you okay? She asked, kneeling beside him. I am fine, he panted, though his face told a different story. Just dizzy. Sit down properly, Maya said gently, guiding him back onto the bench. She quickly gathered the scattered papers, stacking them neatly on his suitcase, then pulled out her phone with shaking hands. I'm calling for help, okay? Just breathe slowly. Minutes stretched like hours. The airport medical team arrived, with a small cart, checking his pulse, asking questions, shining a light briefly in his eyes. Maya stepped back, heart racing, clutching her backpack to her chest. Then she heard it. Final boarding call for flight 782 to Dubai. Her head snapped toward the gate. The airline staff were closing the door. She took a few helpless steps forward, then stopped. The door sealed shut with a soft, definitive click. Her flight, her months of hard work was gone. The old man, now breathing more steadily, turned his head and looked at her. His eyes were tired but kind. You missed your flight because of me, he said quietly. Maya swallowed the lump in her throat and forced a small smile. It's okay, she replied. You needed help. For a brief moment, the rush of the airport faded. It was just the two of them, one old man, one young woman, and a choice she didn't regret, even as her heart ached. After the medics finished checking his pulse and blood pressure, they helped the old man sit comfortably and assured him he would be fine with some rest. He thanked them, then turned to Maya with a firmness that surprised her. At least let me buy you a cup of tea, he said. It's the very least I can do. You really don't have to, Maya protested weakly. Her shoulders ached, and her mind was still spinning from the loss of her flight. I insist, he replied, his tone gentle but final. You stayed with me. Now, you'll sit with me. Maya sighed, a small, tired smile appearing despite everything. All right, she said. Tea sounds nice. They walked slowly to a small cafe near the large glass windows that overlooked the runway. The old man's steps were careful, and Maya stayed close, just in case. They ordered 2 cups of tea and sat at a table by the window, the sky outside, beginning to shift into warm shades of orange and pink as evening settled in. They watched in silence for a minute as planes taxied along the runway, engines roaring, lifting off one by one into the fading light. For each plane that rose into the air, a little pinch of disappointment tugged at Maya's heart. One of those could have been hers. So, the old man said at last, turning his attention back to her. He studied her kindly, as if truly curious. Where were you flying to? Dubai, Maya replied, wrapping her hands around the warm cup. My sister lives there. I was going to surprise her. A small, sad smile touched her lips. Guess the surprise will be that I'm not coming. You can book another ticket, he said, as if the solution was simple. Maya gave a short, dry laugh. Not that easy, she said. That was my savings for the year. Extra shifts, no weekends, almost no outings. It took a while. He frowned, the lines on his forehead deepening. You helped me even though you knew it might cost you that. Maya stirred her tea, watching the small spiral form and disappear on the surface. My mother used to say, if you walk past someone who needs help, you're the one who's truly lost. She looked up, eyes soft but steady. I just did what she taught me. The old man smiled, and the wrinkles at the corners of his eyes deepened in a way that made him look both fragile and wise. Your mother raised a good heart, he said quietly. He glanced down at the open side pocket of his bag, where the papers she had rescued earlier were now neatly stacked. A small logo was printed on the top corner of each document, a pair of stylized wings wrapped around a golden circle. Maya noticed it again but didn't recognize it. You work at a cafe, he said. He asked. Yes, she replied. It's a small place near the main road. I'm a simple woman with simple plans. She tried to keep her tone light, almost joking. Work, pay rent, send a little money home to my parents. A trip here and there, if I can manage it. He nodded thoughtfully, his eyes never leaving her face. Simple doesn't mean small, he said. Sometimes simple people do the biggest things, just by choosing kindness when it costs them something. Maya blinked, a little taken aback by the seriousness in his voice. She looked out at the runway again, a plane lifting into the darkening sky. For the first time since missing her flight, she felt a quiet warmth in her chest, like maybe, just maybe, she hadn't lost as much as she thought. They had almost finished their tea when the quiet hum of the airport outside shifted. A sleek black car with tinted windows rolled to a smooth stop right outside the terminal doors, just beyond the glass. It looked out of place among the taxis and shuttle buses. It's a car that didn't wait. A car that belonged to someone important. A sharply dressed man in a dark suit stepped out quickly, adjusting his tie as he scanned the area with urgency. The moment his eyes landed on the old man, relief washed over his face. He hurried inside, weaving through the crowd straight toward their table. We were so worried, the newcomer said, slightly breathless, bowing his head with respect. You should have called. The board is waiting, Maya blinked. Board, she repeated silently. What board? The old man, who had been quietly sipping his tea a moment ago, suddenly seemed different, not less kind, but somehow larger, important, in a way she hadn't noticed before. He pushed himself up slowly from his chair, waving a hand as if brushing off the concern. Calm down, Armand, he said, patting the younger man's arm. I'm fine, thanks to this young lady. Armand turned his attention to Maya properly for the first time. His eyes flicked over her simple clothes, the fraying strap of her backpack, the exhaustion in her face. His expression softened. Thank you, miss, he said sincerely. Maya shifted uncomfortably in her seat. It was nothing, she murmured. The old man turned back to her with a faint smile, as if something had just occurred to him. I never told you my name, did I? Maya shook her head. No, you didn't. He extended his hand. His grip, though a little shaky, it was warm and steady. I'm Imran Qureshi. The name floated between them for a moment, meaning absolutely nothing to her. It sounded familiar in the way all important names did, but she couldn't place it. She shook his hand politely. I'm Maya. Armin stared at her, eyebrows shooting up. You don't know who he is? He asked, sounding genuinely surprised. Maya looked between them, confusion deepening. Should I? She asked slowly. Armin pointed toward the old man's OP bag, where the corner of a stack of documents peeked out. The logo she had seen before, blue wings wrapped around a golden circle, was clearly visible. He owned Sky Vista Airlines, Armin said. The airline you were supposed to fly with. Maya's mouth fell open slightly. The world seemed to tilt for a second. You own the airline? Imran chuckled softly, the sound warm and amused. Well, he said modestly, a portion of it.
Yes.
He looked at her with those same gentle eyes she had seen on the bench. And you missed one of my planes. For me, heat rushed to her face. She shook her head quickly, flustered. I didn't help you to get anything back, she said. I just didn't want you to be alone, or in danger. That, he replied, his voice suddenly rich with meaning, is exactly why I don't want you to lose anything. For the first time, Maya realized her small decision to stop, to help, to care had intersected with a world far bigger than hers. And yet, sitting there between a powerful man and his anxious assistant, she felt no regret, only a strange, quiet anticipation of what might happen next. Within an hour, Maya found herself standing at a counter she had never imagined approaching the VIP desks. The floor here was quieter, the crowds thinner, the air somehow calmer. Instead of rushed travelers with crumpled papers, there were people in tailored suits and neatly packed luggage, moving with the slow confidence of those who never had to worry about missing flights. Maya clutched the strap of her backpack, feeling out of place. Her ticketry booked in what the staff called business class felt unreal in her hand, like a prop in someone else's story. Armand approached with a professional smile that softened when he looked at her. In his hand was a cream-colored envelope, sealed with a small golden emblem, the same winged logo she'd seen on the documents. From Mr. Qureshi, he said, holding it out to her with a slight nod. Maya took it carefully, almost afraid to bend it. The paper felt thick. Important. She opened it slowly, her fingers trembling just a little, and pulled out a neatly folded letter on elegant stationery. She began to read, "Dear Maya, most people walk past you stopped. The world needs more people like you. I've arranged not only your new ticket, but also an annual travel pass with our airline for the next 3 years. Your simple plan shouldn't be limited by money. Also enclosed as a contact card. If you ever wish to study, change work, or explore a new path, call this number. We support people with good hearts in our company. Imran Qureshi." Her eyes moved over the words again, as if they might disappear if she blinked too fast. Annual travel pass 3 years. Explore a new path. Behind the letter were 2 cards. One was sleek and glossy, with her name printed neatly in silver letters. Beneath the airline logo, Maya Khan, Skyvista Priority Traveler. The other was simpler, white, with only a name and a direct phone number. Imran Qureshi Personal Office. Tears pricked at the corners of her eyes, blurring the text. She swallowed hard, trying to steady herself. This was more than a favor. It was a door being opened into a world she never even thought she could knock on. She looked up, wiping her eyes quickly with the back of her hand. Near a private corridor roped off from the main area, she saw Imran standing with 2 staff members. They were waiting to escort him through a separate entrance, away from the crowd. On impulse, she called out, her voice trembling but clear. "Why?" He turned at once, as if he had been expecting the question. His smile was gentle, kind in a way that made her chest ache. "Because you treated me like a person, not a problem," he answered. His voice carried icily across the quiet space. "Remember this, Maya. Kindness is never small. It flies farther than any plane." For a moment, their eyes met hers, shining with disbelief and gratitude. His calm and steady. Then he gave her a small nod, almost like a blessing, and disappeared through the private door. Later, as she walked down the jet bridge toward her new flight, the business class ticket in one hand and the envelope pressed against her chest with the other, Maya felt different. The same backpack hung from her shoulder. The same worn shoes carried her forward. She was still, by all her old definitions, a simple woman, but something inside her had shifted. Her simple choice to stop, to help, to care had not only changed someone else's day, it had opened up a future she never dared to imagine. A future where borders felt smaller, opportunities felt closer, and where kindness, quietly given, had come back to her on wings.